Greeting, Mr. Errol. This is our discussion group in Yangon. We have formed a little association for the advancement of Vipassana meditation and propagation of Buddha's teaching. So our meeting and our associate usually meet together on every Sunday, and we meditate. After meditation, we discuss the problem regarding to the meditation and some other Dhamma methods. So today also we are meeting together, and I present your letter to my colleagues to understand about your questions. I tell them that Mr. Thomas Well is the county court judge in Gainesville, Florida. He started meditation in his country and United States. He got the instruction or the guidance from my friend, Dr. Tentamian. So he is working well with his work. So he mentioned that after meditation, he had a colors, purple, blue, and green, and it's brown when he closed his door on concentrating and meditation. You see, this is a good sign for the meditator. So our explanation is like this. When someone meditates on the object, any kind of object, or as for us, usually we meditate on the breathing in and breathing out, and so on. So when someone is meditating, he is closing his doors of perception, 5 doors of perception, and at the same time he also closed the 9 doors and opened only one channel for the meditation. So when he closed down the doors, and then the mind, by meditation, increasing gradually the tranquility. The tranquility increases stage by stage. When that stage, tranquility, reach that starting stage, the colors appear. So this is the, for somebody, it takes very long time to have such kind of coloration, perceiving of the colors. But as for Mr. Elwell, he got it in short time. That means a good sign for his progress. See? So this is the meditation. The nature of the happening of this progress is like this. The mind, when concentrates on meditation, gradually become peaceful, and then it is increasing the tranquility, and then gradually increasing the degree of tranquility. So when it reaches certain stage, the external stimulation, they are very strong in terms of sound, in terms of sight, and many kind of stimulation, provoking the mind at ordinary time. And the channel of mind also, many thoughts of the thinking, emotions are also disturbing the mind. But when someone is meditating, he tries to keep these worries and anxiety, as well as the thinking and discursive mind, as well as all other stimulation getting down lower and lower. When they become lower and lower, the degree of tranquility increases gradually. When it reaches certain stage, so this body and mind have the internal energy. This is called the intrinsic energy. This intrinsic energy is weaker than the external energy employing on someone's mind. So that intrinsic energy hasn't got a chance to show itself as in form of light, in the form of light. So the process is like this. At the ordinary time, the external stimulations are strongly impressing on the mind, ordinary person mind. When the meditator meditates, all the external sources are gradually closed down, then internal energy increases. That internal energy, intrinsic energy, show in the form of light. That means the sign of the increasing tranquility and concentration. That is very good sign for the meditator. That is our explanation like this. And then Mr. Edward likes to know some more about the nature of his mind. He asks that after meditation, he likes to do it very seriously. His mind is inclining in this direction. So he likes to do what is the nature of his Dhamma and the past lives, what he has done and so on. The explanation for this question is like this. We know, according to our traditional belief, every human being has lived a long series of lives before the present life. So Mr. Elwer also lived a series of lives. But the first thing is, he might have lived series of human lives. That means, in our way, more than the human life, there are heavenly life, heavenly beings, human beings, and beside the human being, other living beings also happen to be in our samsara, in the series of life. But as for him, he might have a series of human life. That is the first point. And the second point is, when he had those lives, he might have meditated. He might have taken the meditational course in the previous life. That is the second point. And the third point is, whenever he had a chance to meditate, even in those previous lives, he took them very seriously, not lightly. So these are the happening, and because of this, the accumulated force of habit of Dhamma, his Dhamma, now at the present moment, making him to lead in this direction of meditation. And then when he started his meditation, it also showed the sign of good progress. Within a short time, he got the kala to see when he meditated. So that is the potential he got since he has accumulated previous lives. So that is the explanation for us why he is so seriously wants to get advance of the spiritual wisdom in this lifetime. So this is the explanation of our way. So he has accumulated a good, very good Dhamma for promotion of his wisdom. And then he asks again, he likes to get the meditation, the advancement of meditation. What can I do to advance without greed my meditation? How can I develop my meditation? And so on. This is the natural desire for the meditators. As soon as he gets into that track, he likes to get advancement in the meditation, likes to know more. That is natural. But the meditation is one kind of training for our mind, one kind of training to channelize, to increase our tranquility, and then to get a concentration. That is the method of meditation. So it will show itself, its own progress, gradually in time. We cannot go very fast. We cannot expect the advancement leaps and bounds, because this is the process of nature. Nature means nature of mind, each and every individual's mind. And most of the people, we ordinary person or commoners, are always engaged in our life. This is social life. Social life means the ordinary way of life. We are living that way. So, we are trying to get out of the daily life or usual life and walk on the new path, on new line. That is another line for the advancement of our knowledge, our wisdom, our intellect, to know more something, what actually life means to us. So we are asking the question by ourselves to know more about our life. Now, Mr. Elwin has a good, very clear idea. He says that, I know I am not the body, but I am struggling with the disgusted mind, and I'm trying to meditate. So this is correct line. And when we start the natural path of the development of our mind through the meditation, we have our system. That is, according to our Buddhist system, everybody knows this formula. That is called the Eightfold Noble Path. Eightfold Noble Path, we usually recite like this: Sammā Diṭṭhi, Sammā Saṅkappa, Sammā Vāsa, Sammā Kammanta, Sammā Ājīva, Sammā Vāyama, Sammā Sati, Sammā Samadhi, and so on. These are 8 factors for the promotion of our wisdom in the line of meditation. So the first point is, the first stage is Sammā Diṭṭhi. Sammā Diṭṭhi means the right view. We must have the right view. That is very important, because without having the right view, we cannot have the right way of thinking. Therefore, we must start with to have the right view. The right view means what? View upon our life, upon our existence. So we must have clear idea or clear knowledge of our existence or our life. So according to our teacher's explanation, so our life or our existence means 2 continuous functions. They are physical function as well as mental function. Physical and mental functions are correlating and cooperating each other, and they are continuing on and on. This, we call it our life. So, when we take this kind of basic concept, so we know that we don't have any other idea of concept of I, self, or ego. They are not the reality of life. Reality of life is the only continuation of mind and body. Previous times, we usually say that mind and body going together. Nowadays, the scientists, especially physicists, they replace the word body with the word energy. So nowadays, we usually express this thing like this: mind energy relation and functioning. So, from the point of view of the observer, these 2 continuous functions are going on and on. So, we will, the questioner may ask, where I and self stand. Because since we were born as a biological being, we have no knowledge of anything. But gradually, by socialization, the term socialization means interchange between the individual and society. Society gives him the education and the individual learns from the environment. So primarily, he has to learn the language of his home, of his mother's tongue. So learning the language, he has to use the term I for answer, you for the listener, and he for the third person, and so on and so forth. In every language, this is essential to use I, you, and he. So this is only for the purpose of the exchange of the ideas and views from one person to another. That is the process of language. But it takes more than that. Psychological body taking the term I and the self, gradually absorbing itself, forming self, and the idea of ego or the self-centered nature increasing gradually while going on and on in the society. We call that process of the socialization going on and on. The individual learn more and more from the society. So the nature of I or the nature of self increasing by itself through the processes. So he takes it for granted. There is I, there is self. Because without self or without I, he is not easy to communicate with his associates or with his surroundings. So he just lives like this. That is the way happening in commoners' nature, the common people life. But in actuality, in nature, when someone wants to know the reality of life, just like a scientist who is examining about the structure of atom or nature of energy or something like that, objectively analyzing the subject, he has to be free from any other preconcepts. So also in our meditational process, we are trying to know more about reality of life without having any preconceived ideas. So we try to see it. Finally, we know that life is continuation of two functions, mental and physical. So physical side, we usually introduce the function of energy. So mind and energy are going on and on. We can explain at this stage like this. But this is the view. This is the view what we call it. Without having self, without having I, but the continuation of mind and energy only going on and on. This view on life, we call it, that is correct, view or the right view. So when we have that view at the first stage, that is samadhi, we call it. Based upon this view, we try to think, or we try to rationalize about the problem of life, and we try to solve these without having I, without having ego, without having self, and so on. This process of thinking based upon the true view of life, based upon samadhi, and we increase our steps and think about these things, think about nature, think about reality of life. So that is called Samma Sankappa. Samma Sankappa means thinking correctly. So when we are able to put into the practice or making the habit of new way of thinking without I, without self, without ego, we try to solve the problem we encounter in our daily life. This is the second step. So, when we have that kind of nature, that kind of habit, new kind of habit, so when we talk to the other, we have the different way of expression. That means not the old way of telling, that is new way of telling. That means we don't have to communicate the other people verbally unnecessarily. Unnecessarily, what we mean is for the benefit of the advancement of knowledge or for the benefit of myself as well as the other listener. So I try to economize using of my words only for the advancement or only for the benefit of both sides, both parties. No other words are necessary. That means usually common people has to talk in many ways. That means to increase his personality or for the prestige or many other ways to gain the material world or so on. These are not the essential points in the process of communication or talking or exchange, verbal exchange. So we took the new pattern of talking. This is free from the egoistic expression and talking. This is called Saddhamma Vasa. Similarly, when we are walking, and they walk the direction and intention of our work for the benefit of the people and for the benefit of my own also. But this benefit is for the promotion of our wisdom, our knowledge, and to reach the final goal of enlightenment. So we only do for these things which are related to for the promotion of our daily life. For this only we work. We are trying to reduce the overburden set the social work. So we change our way of doing. This is for Saddhamma. And then next stage, when we have the way how to speak and how to work properly for the advancement of our enlightenment, and then for the livelihood, the right livelihood, this Sama Asiwa. That means we are not engaged in the selling of the arms and firearms or silence or poison to giving the other people harmful actions. So we try to avoid. That is the traditional way of the Sama Asiwa. And that in this the present time, in this century, so many kind of jobs we have to work in the different professions. So we are working properly, not hurting the other people, not destroying the harmony of the society, and giving the only benefit to the people for our livelihood. So this is called what is our right livelihood, and so on. So when we live that way, and then the work is our effort. Our effort means the right effort. The right effort means for myself, for my family, for my country, and so on. I will work, but that must not be harmful to the others and not harmful to myself. So that is also directing to the path for the promotion of our knowledge in the line of the enlightenment through the training of our mind. This is called the right effort. And then the right awareness. That means the Samasati. The right awareness means whenever we put our question to answer, we encounter in our daily life we base upon the fact what we have selected, the new frame of reference, new way of the concept, and then we try to aware the process of our mind, which is going along the right path or deviating from that path. So we try to put it on the right path, always aware of our own process of mind. This is called right awareness. And then finally, right concentration. Right concentration means we need concentration to solve the problem, the intellectual problem, for the promotion of our wisdom. We need a lot of concentration. Therefore, we meditate. But that concentration also must be correct concentration or in the right direction. That means selfless. No egocentric mind. So this is our right concentration. All these 8 factors are really important and essential for our promotion of our meditation and our advancement in our life. So when we know about roughly all these things, all these basic factors, how we can go for the advancement of our life. Advancement of our life means for both sides. See, living properly in harmony with our society. At the same time, we are trying to promote our knowledge, our mental quality higher and higher to reach the final goal, to get the enlightenment. So, now we have the way of living gradually changing. As for Mr. Elwell, he has started the meditation, we call it middle age, at the age of about 41 years. So that is very good time to start for meditation as well as for the advancement of the higher knowledge of mind or wisdom. So we must have a clear idea where we are walking, how we are going to walk, and so on. So at the very beginning, we are ordinary person, commoner in this line of training. So gradually we'll improve. But I like to tell one example or one short story relating to the advancement of our knowledge. You see, it is like this. There are 2 kinds of person. One is ordinary person, the other is the specialist. Specialist and ordinary person are quite different. So, specialist, he has his own specialized training, and then he has the discipline. So, ordinary commoner has also his discipline and his daily life. And then mostly we know that what are the do's and what are the don'ts. And we have to follow do's and don'ts set by the community, set by our society. We try to follow the norms or the normal way of life accepted by our society. This is the discipline for the ordinary person. But when it comes to a specialist, he has his discipline, and that discipline, how we follow and how the ordinary man, how the commoner follow is quite different. As for the commoner, he has the do's and don'ts only. But when it comes to the professional, that is a quite different thing. That is not do's and don'ts. That is the must and the mustn't. See, what he must do and what he must not do. So quite clearly the specialist sees. Now, when we come to that stage, we are easy to see the specialist in our daily life. For example, airline pilot. and see that specialists, airline pilots as well as the sergeants and engineers and so on. So they are specialists in their field. So they have their school of training how to improve their knowledge within their own their times to be a sergeant or to be an engineer or to be an airline pilot and so on. We can see it quite easily. And then when he becomes a professional and he becomes a sergeant or engineer, he is a different person. His knowledge is quite high, and he knows his own profession, what to do, and what are the disciplines he got to know, and he knows. And then what are the must and what are the mustn't. So I like to I like to tell one short story about the specialist nature and about the discovery of truth. So I'll explain one thing here. We are the people trying to get the stage of enlightenment. We are trying for the advancement through the meditational training and many other ways to improve our internal capacity of our mind, to know more about ourselves, finally to reach final enlightenment. This is the way we are walking along the path of meditation. But in this case, not like sergeant, not like engineer, we don't have the training school and specialization school. We have to go on by our own training, talking with the other people, those who know about the subject matter, and we train ourselves, and we have to go on that way. No specialized school. So that is a different setup. And then the specialist and commoner way of walking, quite different thing. So one thing what we have to have in our mind is starting from the commoner stage, gradually we have to go up to the professional stage in the work of meditation. If we are aiming at the reaching the goal of enlightenment, final enlightenment, wisdom, absolute wisdom, clearly everything. So we must have the professional discipline, professional status, and professional way of working. So from the commoner stage, we are trying to advance to the professional stage in the process of meditation. That will be long way for some people. That may be not very long way for the man who has potential, what we call a paramita, and accumulation of knowledge and experience in the previous life. If we have higher, we will have a shorter path to walk up. So I will share one example, one story. This is like this. Here in our country, a lady about the middle age of 40, she was suffering from blindness. She got lost seeing. So she went to the ophthalmologist about to know her eyes. So ophthalmologist examined thoroughly about the nature and the structure of her eyes. Then the specialist replied that her eyes, both eyes are complete, perfect, and intact. Nothing was wrong. But she couldn't see. So the specialist suggests to go and ask the neurologist. So she went again to the neurologist. And neurologist examined the situation about the disturbances with many instruments, X-ray and many other instruments and so on. Finally, the neurologist decided that there is something wrong in the nervous system, that is an optical nerve, which is joining from the eye to the visual center. At the interval, there is something wrong or some fault happening. So, the neurologist try to find out where the fault lies. So, finally, the neurologist explained that the place is at the pituitary gland. The optical nerve passes over the pituitary gland, but that pituitary gland is not normal. It has a tumor or outgrowth. That tumor is pressing on the optical nerve. Therefore, optical nerve cannot send the message from the eye to visual center. Therefore, she could not see. So, she has to wait for the time to do that. Fortunately, a specialist neurosurgeon came to this country from Great Britain, and then she went to that neurosurgeon and sent what happened to her eyes. So after examining the case history of the blindness, neurosurgeon agreed that is the cause. So she requested to operate for that. So the surgeon accepted and operated. So as you know, this is the operation of brain, especially for the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is a small thing like the size of a pea, in the center of the brain. So to get out or to be able to see the situation and pituitary gland is also very difficult. But as a specialist, he did it every possible thing, and he tried to take out the brain and then see that. And he saw that the outgrowth or the tumor and the pituitary gland. So, take out that pituitary gland, disturbing the optical nerve. So, if the process is perfect, that will be alright. But taking out the tumor from pituitary gland is very, very delicate process. Not like any other tumor when the muscle or so, not easy. So what actually happened is like that. When the surgeon took out that tumor from the pituitary gland, that operation disturbed the breathing center, disturbed respiratory control center. See? So, respiratory control center stopped functioning. So, the patient has no more breathing. So, finally, the patient died. That is real happening in our country. So, what is this out of this episode? The specialists are very, very important. So, do be thorough in his work, the knowledge of the work. So, now here, the specialist must have the knowledge what must do and what must not do, and when must do and when must not do, and why must do and why must not do, and how must do and how must not do. These are very important things as for the specialist. See? So, specialist knowledge and specialist work are quite different from the commoner knowledge and commoner's work. So, this is happening. So, what I want to tell the similarity of our job, our work. We meditators, at the very beginning, we will be a state of commoner. When we try to improve our knowledge gradually, more and more. But at the stage of commoner, we cannot expect final enlightenment. We have to go on and on to reach the stage of a specialist in this profession. When we are trying to get to the stage of professional meditator, that will take long time because we cannot train ourselves just like a sergeant or just like engineer or just like airline pilot with the continuous training and continuous lecturing, following and practice and so on. So our work and our nature of training is different. So we have to be patient to promote ourselves to reach the stage higher and higher. We will not be able to know how far we have been perfected ourselves to be a professional stage because we have no examiner to examine our stage. See? So we have to be ourselves. We are the trainer and we are the same time training and we are the examiner and we are the examinee and so on. So we have to go on carefully and slowly but continuously without break. We go on so and so. But if we follow these Eightfold Noble Paths carefully and systematically, we are sure finally we will get the goal of enlightenment in this life or next life. If we try to follow completely what the discipline and the necessary factors set up for ourselves, that means each and every individual has different potentiality, different way of faculty and ability. So he only knows his own nature, his own inclination, his own desire, his own intellectual advancement. So these are the factors for the promotion of our knowledge and our experience to reach our goal. So we have to be careful about our work to be continuous. So at ordinary time, that means when we are living in our society, most of the time we have to work with our professional jobs and at the same time we devote part of our time for promotion of our training, our experience. We meditate. So that the meditation is the only path we can go for the advancement of our experience and our knowledge or our condition. See, this is the question. For the promotion means not knowing only. See, the knowledge is only to show the path for the advancement. But actual advancement means we have real experience or real promotion of our habit. That is very fine and very delicate thing to distinguish between our ordinary old habits and new habits because of our training and our mind, training of our mind. So, we have to walk up gradually, and we must be patient for our work and do, because we have to devote both for our daily life and our responsibility and duty to fulfill our family and other society, and for our job. At the same time, we meditate, doing both works at the same time. But if we do it gradually and continuously without break, when we have our time, that means we must have a proper set time. For example, whenever we got up in the morning, we meditate for a short time, say about 15 minutes at the beginning and half an hour, and then advance to 1 hour and so on. When at night time, before we go to bed, we meditate, say half an hour and 1 hour and so on, gradually improve our way of training and so on. And then we should go, or we must go continuously. So, to clear up, to know exactly the cause of our blindness, why we are existing, and then why we want to exist. That is the important question. Naturally, our mind has the desire to exist. So, those specialists sometimes used to express that way. The desire for existence is very, very strong. It can be substituted the word just to live life, just to exist. That is very strong desire. So, this mind, why so much desire to exist? Because we do not know exactly the functions of existence, how these are functioning, why these are continuing without stop. So, that hindrance, not knowing about the exact nature of our existence, the function of our mind, as well as the body, physical body. So, because of this ignorance, making us as a blind man walking in the samsara, one life, one existence to another existence, and so on. So, to cure our ignorance or our blindness, that we don't know why we are so attached to this existence. This is the primary factor to solve the problem. The first thing is to know the knowledge. The second is to cure up or to drive away this ignorant mind, or that in reverse. When we keep everything completely out, this ignorance and the impurity, the enlightenment comes. So, we are going on and on our way. So, these are some points we have to know as a fundamental concept and fundamental knowledge for our meditation. And then the other things, Mr. Elwood likes to know that, see, what are the mantra or the words I have to utter for the promotion of our spiritual power, to promote our spiritual wisdom. What are the words shall I utter? Also on Mr. Elroy wants to know that I have my own training in this way. I utter the words, not the mantra, but this is what we call the radiation of our loving kindness from our heart. So it has to start with verbally uttering these words. So at the very beginning, I have to start with my own mind and body. So what I say is, may my mind and body peaceful and healthy. May my mind and body be peaceful and healthy. May my mind and body be peaceful and healthy. I utter very softly, and then sometimes without words, just only in mind, repeat these words. That is the first step for myself, because genuinely I like peaceful mind, I want healthy body. So this is my sincere and pure desire for me. So I try to utter these words. May my mind be peaceful. May my body be healthy, and so on. This is the first thing. Similarly, I compare myself with my immediate surroundings. So my wife, my son, my assistant and housemates and all the people living around me under the roof of my house. Each and every human being, they also like to have peaceful mind and healthy body. So I sympathize with these people. So I say that my wife may be peaceful mind and healthy body. May my wife be peaceful in mind, be healthy in body. In the same way, my son and all other people, and so on. So this is genuinely the love, that my loving kindness. I compare myself with these people, and then I try to increase my power of love, my power of loving kindness in my heart, the way I feel for myself and the way they feel for themselves. They are the same, because they are the same living beings. They like to live, they like to exist, and then they like to have their peaceful mind, they like to have their healthy body. So I pray, be healthy, be peaceful. Not only our immediate members of the family, I try to extend to the surroundings, the people living around my area, each and every one, be healthy, be peaceful in mind, and so on. And then try to extend again the circle of my love and my kindness to the people living in my town. Every individual living in my town, be peaceful in mind, be healthy in body. Everybody living in my town. And then I increase the circle in my state, the people every individual living be peaceful in mind, healthy in body, and so on. And I increase to the boundary of my country, everybody living in my country be peaceful in mind, and be peaceful and be healthy in body, and so on. And then I try to extend the saga all over the surface of earth, the people living on the earth, every living being, including human beings as well as any other living being, be peaceful and healthy. So I gently utter my words every morning and every evening. So very softly at the very beginning. And when I get this kind of uttering repeatedly and genuinely, I convey my love, loving kindness to every individual. So I feel quite peaceful by myself. And the area or the way, the direction, I usually radiate, not only this way. For example, I have been working with my colleagues in my department, and every individual, now they are working in their services. So my own colleagues, my friends, and all our professionals with me working together. And I also extend to the old friends as well as new friends, each and every individual, be peaceful and healthy. So these are the words I utter every morning and every evening. So these are the essential things for promotion of our mental quality by extending our loving kindness. So this is clear force of mind, because this mind always engage in all other social matters and all businesses. They are always busy, the mind is functioning, but no time or even a single moment to think about the welfare of other people, for the healthiness, for peaceful mind, or for happiness of other people. Actually, we need it, because I myself, I want to be peaceful, and every individual also likes to be peaceful. So I have to train my mind, first and foremost, to know about my mind and my physical body. So this physical body wants to be healthy, this mind wants to be peaceful. So I really want to be this state. So every individual also wants it. So I try to extend genuine love of my own mind, increase the area, giving to my friends, to my family, to my fellow beings, and living in my country, living all over the world. So I try to increase, because this is the right to supporting our mental faculty and our meditation. Meditation is, as you know, concentration of mind and preparing the tools to solve the problem of our the final, to reach the goal, final goal, the enlightenment. But between the enlightenment and present state, there are so many obstructions and so many problems. To remove or to solve this problem, to prepare the tools to keep them out. So this is one tool for us, the radiation of our loving kindness. So the strength to increase our meditational power and to overcome the obstruction. So this increase our power of loving kindness. We practice this way in our country. This is called the radiation of Metta in Pali words. So this is also very useful and very good for our daily life. So this is one part we have done in our life. See? And then I like to explain another subject in the question you asked in your letter. So this is dealing with the Dhamma. This is also one important matter to discuss. So there are many ways to interpret about the Dhamma, and this is Oriental concept of Dhamma, and many religions like Hindu and Jain and Buddhist all believe in Dhamma. But the interpretation of Dhamma is different in different religions. So I was born and brought up in Buddhist atmosphere. So I know the interpretation in Buddhist way of Dhamma. So the Dhamma, the term, actually means action. So there is the three forms of Dhamma: mental action, verbal action, and physical action, and so on. These three are defined as the Dhamma. So how these Dhamma are working in our daily life and in our existence, the whole existence, and in continuous existences in samsara. So this is very long way and very wide subject to discuss, but I will try to explain within the range of my knowledge to make you clear. So this is the Dhamma, how it is working. We need the example. Dhamma is continuous function and continuously supporting the individual. So this kind of Dhamma is called the supporting Dhamma. See how it is supporting. We need an example. See, we have a very common example. In our room, as soon as I switch on the light, and the light box comes out and lights it. So the process is, as soon as I switch, the electric current passes through the filament inside the light bulb. So it comes out in the form of light energy. So light energy is visible. We can see with our own eyes. But we cannot see the electricity, the current of electricity running through the wires and through the filament. But exactly it is the main cause to give the light. So electricity and the light are continuously going on and on. As soon as I stop or switch off, so the light goes off. That means no more electric current and no more light. That is the relation between electricity and light. Now in this case, electricity is the cause and the light is the effect. So, cause and effect are continuously connecting and supporting. Similarly, as for the supporting Dhamma and its effect, supporting Dhamma is the cause, and there are many effects. So, I will give you another example similar to the previous one. When I open my eyes, I see. That is very, very common experience for every living being, for every human being. Seeing. See? So, when we analyze about the nature of seeing, the physiologists and physicists, they explain in their own way. We know that the light from the source, maybe the sun or maybe the electric bulbs, the light energy falls on the object. The object absorbs certain wavelength and reflects certain wavelength. So we see the different colors. So these reflected lights come to our eyes, passing through the pupil and the lens, fall on the retina. And then there is a focus point that is called the fovea. Inside fovea, there are the cells. These cells are, according to their shapes, they are the rods and cones inside the retina. These cells are photosensitive. As soon as the light energy falls upon the cells, they take light energy and change into chemical energy. Chemical change. This chemical change transforms electricity, and this electrical impulses from the retina passes to the optical nerve, and then optical nerves carry the electrical impulses to the visual center in the brain. These are the processes, and the brain cells or neurons work out according to their own action, chemical and physical action. That means electrical vibration, impulses, and so many frequencies per second, so many electron volts, and so on, and each and every brain cell at the visual center. So these are the processes going on in our physical body in relation to our surrounding. So surrounding, supplying the object and light energy, and the eye receiving the energy and sending the message in the form of electricity to the brain. These are the functions. So these are quite clear for the neurophysiologists and physicists. They are quite easy to explain the works of energy, physical energy. So, the very eminent physiologist called Sir Charles Sharenton, he explained like that. We scientists, neurologists, physiologists can tell every detail about the functions of electrical energy in our system. But this is the only knowledge we have, as much as our instruments explain us about the electrical energy, about the functions of this physical energy. But beyond that, when it comes to the stage of seeing, this is quite a different matter. different regions beyond the reach of physiologists or physicists' present knowledge. So, we physicists or physiologists cannot tell about the nature of seeing as much as we can explain about the function of neurons or the function of electricity. So, there is two different fields between physical and mental, or mental and energy function. So, when energy function comes to the stage from the light to electricity and the brain cells, there's a one complete function. And then when it is coming as the form of seeing, that is different thing. Seeing as a common experience, we don't think it is very, very important or very, very difficult to know. But actually seeing is, it is very difficult to understand. Seeing is not physical energy, not